Alright guys, it is becoming crunch time. We only have about a month left before we're supposed to be on track to start our 2024 race season. Right now, we have a lot of stuff to do. So today I'm going to be working on rebuilding my 1150 carburetor for the Firebird. And then after that, I believe we're going to be trying to get the new trans brake button in. We have the just-in-time XL trans brake button that we're going with. Switching out from the, what is it called? The Biondo Terminator button, which we've been running for like 13 years or so, since forever ago. It's been a great button. I have no complaints with it, but I'm looking for just a little bit more adjustability into the button. So we'll see if that works. Hopefully it does. We're gonna have a new mounting location for it, so we're just kind of working on that. But right now we're gonna be working on the carburetor, so let's get into that. Alright guys, just got done with the 1150 carb that goes on the 565 in my car. Basically we did a whole rebuild on it. We all new gaskets, went through, cleaned it out, all new needle and seat, all new floats. We lubricated it so it doesn't continue to stick, but here we are. Yeah. So we're done with that project. That can sit here now until we get the engines back and start getting things ready to go. The next thing on our list for today, we need to get this trans brake button, the new button, just-in-time XL button from Drag Race Solutions. Really looking forward to this. We're going to be mounting this up on the cage underneath the switch panel. So we're going to be coming in right here. Okay, switch panel. We're looking at putting this thing on the bar right here. So hopefully we'll see how that works. Hopefully that will work all right. I have a roll bar mount that I got from Summit. It should work pretty good. I just got to get this thing drilled, and we can get that thing mounted on there. Actually, I got to go find bolts, but we're gonna get that mounted up on the cage like that. So be reaching up for the button rather than down. We'll see how that goes, and then once we have that all in place and whatnot, we have to run the wires to it from the old button, just reroute them, and then on to the next project after that. Alrighty. Okay, so now that we have the trans brake button in its place, now we have to get the wiring organized for it. So this is kind of somewhat mocked up right here. It'll be underneath the switch panel, but we have to get down in here and remove the old wires that used to be at our old trans brake button, and we're gonna remove all that stuff and then rewire it up to the cage where the new trans brake button is. So that's really all we got to do. Just basically make sure all the wires are correct going to it, and should work out just fine. Alright, got some wire here, all sorts of different colors for us to do this project. And then I got some new wire loom to, I don't know how wide this will come out to be, but new wire loom to cover up some of the wire that's in there to get rid of some of this ugly plasticky crap. So let's see. Oh, and I also picked up some new light bulbs for 2 of the gauges. You can probably see in a different video, we had I usually have to flip on my LEDs inside the car so that I can see my gauges. So picked up some new bulbs for that. Hopefully that'll work out and we can get those wired in. Shouldn't be really a big issue. Other than that, we should be ready to rock and roll here. Alright guys, we got the call. It is time to go pick up the motor. The 565 is all ready for us to pick up. I just got out of work and we're going to be heading out to the other side of the state, out to C-Tech Performance, to go pick up our motor. I believe we're just picking up the one right now. I think that's the 565 is done, ready for us, for my car. I'm not sure where he's at with the 496 for Nick's car. We're going to get it back, get it in this weekend, and I can't wait. We're getting close to being time for race season. Alright guys, we are here. We made it out to C-Tech Performance to go and grab the engine. Just gotta get things ready to go and get loaded up. You've seen in the videos before me using this yellow handled jobby here. This is my lean out valve that I made forever and a half ago. And I decided I wanted to kind of clean things up a little bit, so we did that. We started doing that. This is where the lean out valve was, along with the trans brake button. That is no more. Ended up going with getting rid of the terminator button, going with the just-in-time XL button. And I have that mounted up here underneath the switch panel. Seems to work okay there, so we'll see once we actually get to the track and I'm able to use it. All right, we're gonna go in, get some good night's sleep, come out tomorrow morning, start putting this thing together, and get things ready to get into the Firebird. Alright guys, so the motor is now set into the bay. Basically the gist of it's bolted up. Now we have to start getting all the accessory stuff on with their motor plate. Have to start going through, do the distributor, getting all the add-ons to it, and shouldn't be too much longer, and we should be good to go. Alright guys, so something I've been working on off camera here. I picked up a new lean out valve for the car. I got rid of my old one. We're actually going to put that into Nick's car. So anyways, I decided, well, maybe what we'll do is get a little creative and clean things up a little bit. I ended up pulling off the headlight switch for like the stock components, and ended up putting in the new lean out valve in its place. And it fits in there pretty much perfectly. Doesn't rub on anything. I had to do just a little bit of grinding, or I mean filing, just to get like this opened up a little bit. Other than that, it went in there pretty much perfectly. So originally we had the lean out valve like zip tied right here, just like a little ball valve. And this was my old trans brake button mount. So we got rid of all that wiring and just kind of cleaned things up a little bit. Plan on rewiring this car, I think, after the end of this year. So all this will be cleaned up anyways. And ended up putting the new trans brake button here, just in time XL button. And then ran all the wiring up through this direction and back down the A-pillar bar. So, on to the next part of the project. We had to get my motor plate set up to take the vacuum pump. I decided to put my vacuum pump off the dragster onto the 565 this year. So I kind of have things mocked up a little bit right now. I went through and had to drill a hole here to take the bolt, and then I just have to do some grinding. Basically file this out or grind this down so it can take the bolt coming in through here. So that's what we're going to work on right now, is just getting that basically ground down. Then after that, it's going to be getting the fuel pressure regulator. Yeah, get the fuel regulator up back into its spot where it's supposed to go, and then maybe get the alternator back on there. That should be it. We got the crank trigger already mounted up, gapped, everything should be good there, and it should be pretty close to what the timing is supposed to be. So we'll start working on the vacuum pump and getting the rest of this thing mounted. We finally got it rounded out here. Might have to take a file to it and get it organized as far as making sure it's all smooth and whatnot, but got the bolt holes done for our vacuum pump. So let's kind of mock this up real quick and see where we're at. So it should sit something like this. And we got a spacer that's going to go in there, and everything should line up pretty good. I just gotta find my bolt that goes to that spot. Spacer should work out good, and I have a washer I think that I need to use to possibly move it out just a smidgen, but other than that, ready to rock and roll in the next part. Probably should get the regulator put on. Regulator goes right here in this area, so we gotta get these bolts in for the motor plate, get the regulator on after that. And before I go too crazy, I should probably get the alternator going, because the alternator belt is going to sit here and the vacuum pump should sit on this, so we should probably get some of that rolling before we get too far and get carried away. Alright, we got pretty much most everything done off the front end of the motor. As you can see, a lot going on here. We're going to have to, which I started doing here, redo my water pump power line. The way I had it before, this came back like this, and now it's going to hit this belt. So we're going to add on to the line. When we get the radiator in, we're going to basically finish up all the lines just to make sure everything's good to go. Other than that, the vacuum pump, everything went on real nice. My mount that I had on this before ended up working out really good. So all the hoses could stay the same, everything's good to go there. Alternator's on, vacuum pump's on, tight, everything's good to go. Once we get the radiator on, trans lines hooked up, get all that stuff organized with coolant lines, and then after that, we'll basically be ready to fire. We got to fire it on gas, break this engine in, do at least 3 heat cycles, 3 to 4 heat cycles, depending on how much time I can get on each heat cycle. All right, we're gonna call it a night right here. Go and get some food, and tomorrow morning I think we're gonna get back out and finish this up. So we're pretty much to the point where we're gonna be able to start this thing here soon. Everything is pretty much done here. The rest of everything else has gone together pretty well. The vacuum pump went on pretty good, spaced it out, and then as you can see, I have my tiny little gas 750 break-in carburetor on there. It looks kind of funky with all the spacers and stuff. We're pretty much ready at this point to get the car back on the ground and get it ready to be started. I think we're gonna do that tomorrow night. So right now what I gotta do, I gotta get the back tires on again, just get a couple things cleaned up, make sure the engine diaper is all the way up and secured so it's not gonna hit the flex plate once we start it and shred itself. And other than that, yeah, we'll be ready to rock and roll and get some fire in it. All right, guys, we got the car finally started. Everything turned out really well. Did our first start on it for the year, and my video files got corrupted. So I don't have any video for you guys for the very first startup, but here is it running on our second heat cycle or whatever it is. Alright guys, as you can see, we got the car running. We ended up doing all of our heat cycles, got the car totally broken in. We just have to switch things back to alcohol now and do some minor things to get finalized for the season to start. We're gonna end the video here on this. We just have a handful of things left to do and we just wanna try to get it done. We have a week left until the season starts. So we're gonna end it here and stay tuned for on track racing as things progress here through the season. Thanks for tuning in, checking out the video. If you guys want to see more of this type of content where we do things behind the scenes, we're going to be coming out with a build series, and basically that's going to be all stuff that we do in the shop and any types of new builds. We have a handful of new builds that we want to do, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully we can get that going here relatively soon. Other than that, hit that like button, share, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and we'll see you guys in another video.